Okay, we are ready to get at the addition to the brake lines here, adding any extensions. So I checked, these are a little longer, probably 3 inches longer than the normal brake lines. Here's what I'm going to get dialed in and ready to go before we actually get going on this. And again, my workbench is starting to accumulate a lot of junk. So a lot of rags. Also going to have the oil pan to catch any drips. So I'm going to need to make sure we collect nicely. Brake fluid apparently is pretty nasty stuff, so we want to make sure we're getting that all collected nicely. I got a fuel line that we're going to use to bleed the brakes later, and obviously some brake fluid, a flare wrench. Apparently this is important for not rounding off the nuts. I've got 10mm box wrenches or open-ended wrenches, but it's like $7 or something, so that's not a big deal. Inevitably, I'm dropping dust down on my face and my eyes, so I'm going to wear some safety glasses and some nitrile gloves. I like my mechanic gloves normally, but I'll wear these for this just to keep that brake fluid off my hands. Make sure I got a lot of these ready to go. And so underneath the car, just finished taking the tires off, so we don't need all this. A couple quick things to show you. Number one is a breather line. So I installed this recently, and this is just to get the breather for the rear differential. If this hits a lot of water, apparently it creates a vacuum and it can suck water into the rear differential oil, and we don't want to do that. So actually have that lined up through here, and then around the rear bumper here, and then up into the rear of the car, up by the rear tail light. So right up in here somewhere. There it is. So that's the breather differential, or differential breather tube. And one of the things I realized is I had it pretty tight, and that's not good, because when this lift happens, same reason we're extending these brake lines, this was pretty tight, so I've pulled that through, created some more slack, so when the rear axle drops when we're off-roading, it's not going to pull on this too much, so that's good. And I'm just going to leave the tires on to bleed the brakes because it's really easy to access back here. Anyway, so here's the brake lines right here. So we're going to take those off. That's that hopefully 10mm flare nut. I'm going to take it off at the bottom first, let it drip out from here, and once that's finished dripping out a little, then undo the tops. There's these clips here that are going to have to come off, and then put them back in. Obviously that's going to create some air into the system, so we're going to have to get rid of that, so that when you're pumping on the brakes, you're just compressing brake fluid and you're not compressing air, because air compresses, brake fluid doesn't, and we want the brakes to work, obviously. So let's get at that. Okay, here we go. Let's get at it. Look at that, it is a 10. Awesome. There we go. So that's off. It's just like a little pressure fitting, it looks like. Let that drip down. Okay, so that pressure thing is out. If I needed to, I could undo this bracket here to be able to pull this out, but I'll see about pulling this off on its own. Try not to get anything into that hose. Maybe I'll just cap that off so nothing gets in there. So always remember, so that gonna go back in that way. So the concave side is pointing towards the hose. And so that just pops out, so that's cool. Awesome. Okay, let me get a clip. Screwdriver. Well, that hurt. Yeah, those trailer hitches are freaking hard. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. Just want to make sure these are really clean before I get that new line back on them. So that's good. Using a 17 mil wrench to hold that collar. I can't get into the right position to drop the clips on them. Okay, we are all done. That looks good. All put into place. So for the clips, these extended brake lines actually came with a little O-clip that fit underneath. Let's see if I can get in there. Just a little black clip that fits right underneath the bracket to stop it from sliding back down, and then the normal clip fits on top, the silver one you can see there. And then the bottom part of the brake line just has the bottom clip that was in there initially. So anyways, so we're going to start with the right side of the car, passenger, or the rear, because it's the farthest from the system. We're going to put that on there. It's pretty tight, and then we're just going to loosen the bleeder valve. You see fluid coming out, and actually that's a lot dirtier than I thought it was going to be. So I'm glad I bought a lot of fluid. So I'm going to actually push a lot of this into, I'm just going to open this up and then start pumping fluid out into the this thing here. Probably would have I've probably wasted some of that there, because I'm just going to push this through. So I'm going to see a lot more of that garbage in there when I pump the brakes. And one of the things I'm going to want to make sure is that I don't run this dry. So I'm going to have to keep topping that up. Should put some of that in there now. Pumping a lot of crap through there, so that's good. That wasn't good because I see some air in there, so I'm going to loosen that off a little bit more again. Pump a little bit more. Okay, so that looks clear. Next. I'm going to go check the reservoir again, make sure there's enough fluid in there. Looks like I moved a lot through the system.
And after I finished doing the back brakes, I had to go get some more brake fluid because I just had that one bottle, which I thought was going to be enough if I was just bleeding the system. But then when I realized I was going to be starting to flush whole brake fluid out, try and get some more clear fluid through there, I was going to run out. So did the back brakes, got another, actually 2 bottles to do the front brakes, but I only used another half bottle, which was great. So I'll take one back. Anyways, exact same process for the front brakes. I did the passenger side first, then I did the driver's side, just opening up the little bleeder valve there, pump the brakes, push fluid out, fill the reservoir, make sure it stays topped up all the time. Because if it drops down too low, you're going to get some air in the master cylinder up at the front end, and the whole system's got air in it. That's a big hassle. So it worked really, really well. I was super surprised at how simple it was to actually bleed brakes, and pretty glad I did it myself and got this whole brake line extension done. And now I'm ready for that 3-inch lift. As soon as it comes in, I can pop that in after I take the X-Reus system off this car. It's a sport model, so it's got that X-Reus system. And I'm really looking forward to get that lift in, and we're all ready to go now. So this is great to get done.